Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Prezzo, another in a fine line of Burt Rappaport restaurants.
Hold the mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defoe, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. And oh boy, I can't believe the crowd that we have here today. We're at Prezzo, Italian restaurant, Boca Raton, right on Military Trail, just north of Yamato Road. Jeff Defoe the Forest is at home. We're waiting for the arrival of Eddie Pozzuoli. The man is like one of those jugglers who's riding a unicycle and like juggling bowling pins and also balls and things. The guy has so many projects going that it's completely insane. But he's going to be joining us soon. We've got Mike Lubie Lubitz. We've got a full house. I wish I could bottle this scene and and have it in August and September because for all those days where it's we call it the dog days of summer. This is glorious and spectacular. Full house inside. A group of 60 Holocaust survivors I guess they meet here every couple of months, Lubie, and then
Yes.
there's going to be entertainment, a Yiddish singer, which I wouldn't necessarily.
I didn't know that part. That's pretty cool.
At a Italian restaurant, but hey, it's Boca. Anything is possible.
Yes.
Defoe, how are you doing today?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai.
I don't know if the whole country should be saying the Shema coming up to what's going on Monday, but I'm trying to forget all
Is
that.
that one of the tunes that's on the playlist?
Something like that.
Set list, whatever. You guys look great out there, I have to say. Mike Mayo, I mean, and sometimes our lighting is a little bit suspect here. We don't really have a whole lot in that category in terms of equipment, but this natural lighting suits you both. Lubie looks great. You look great.
Thank you.
The scene looks spectacular. This is what you're looking for if you're cruising Boca Raton. For a great place to
This
eat.
is why the wintertime is spectacular. I love being outdoors. I love when the lighting is good. It reflects very well on all of us. I'm even looking a little bit skinnier these days. And I heard.
How is that possible, though? We were thinking about you this morning. And you limited yourself to the one burger there at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, according to Lubie. Anyway, I don't know.
half a bowl of turkey.
Maybe you paid him not to drag you out. But aren't you at one of these food festival events every night this week?
Last night, yeah, and last night was a wonderful, spectacular gathering. I did not eat dinner there. I just went in late for the after party because it was at the Catherine. And now that Tim and Baloo and Marissa have full liquor, I said, forget the food. Let me just go in. And Val actually had a friend visiting from out of town. She went out to dinner with them, her friends. And then me and Val went in for the late night activities. And it was great because at the Catherine, an unbelievable assemblage of culinary talent last night. I mean, besides the ones in the kitchen, which was some people from the 305, the Chang gang. This is Valerie and Fernando Chang. We spoke with Nando last month, but Valerie Chang actually won the James Beard Award for Best Chef in the Southeast.
Oh, wow.
In last April. I got to see Val. I haven't seen her in a few years, and they have great restaurants side by side in Miami Midtown. One's called Matty's, and the other one is called Itamai. And they said, you got to come on down, Mike. And I was like, okay, I'll send out the back signal.
No, we should get down there.
Also, Jose Mendin, who is very well regarded chef. He has the sushi place called, which I can't even remember the name of it, but it's Jose Mendin has been very popular down there. He was there last night. The couple that runs this Sandwich, the Miami shop, was there. And then enjoying the food last night, Reno and his whole gang from Heritage, after their brawling, fight night on Monday, they were there. Neki Mohan was there last night.
Cool.
One of my favorite chefs in town, Brandon Solomon, who's doing a special dinner tonight at Evelyn's at the Four Seasons, was there. And he's doing it tonight with the Boya Day chefs and their Michelin-starred restaurants. It's just incredible the way the food scene is just exploding all over South Florida, Defoe. And but I withheld last night because I know when tonight.
What do you do tonight? Because usually you
tonight,
judge it, but I don't think you're not doing that this year, right?
Because I am trying to lose weight. And tonight well, there is a great
Devo's
dinner that's
holding
not
back
the only
laughter.
thing that's basically not sold out.
There's no
Okay,
way
you
you're trying to lose weight the way you've been going at it. I mean, it's okay. Mike.
VOfoodwine.com right now. They have basically everything is sold out. Barbecue sold out. Grand tasting sold out. Even the Sunday brunch, which is a first-time event, is sold out on Sunday. There are still a few tickets remaining for the Asian Walk and Roll event tomorrow night, where Lubie and I will be broadcasting a special Lunchbox After Dark edition.
Yes, sir.
And also the Paula De Silva, who's a renowned local chef. She was, is well known, has been on all kinds of TV reality competitions. And I think
she's with Brad and Dave and a long line of great.
Well, she's got a couple of good visiting female chefs. Or I don't even have to say female, just good visiting chefs. One is called, one of her name is Melissa Kelly. She's from Maine. Another one, Kathleen Blake, is from Orlando. And there's a few seats remaining for that event tonight at the, Burlock Coast at the Ritz-Carlton, Fort Lauderdale Beach. It's amazing that basically everything else is sold out. So our work is done. They can't blame us for anything. And that's a wonderful thing. But for me tonight, it's that bar fight competition, where every year they bring in these big mixologists, Defo. And the best thing I heard all week is that I don't have to judge tonight. So my motto is less thinking, more drinking.
I like that.
And given what's coming up in this country in the next few days, I don't like to talk politics.
There'll be a lot of thinking.
Defo, but what is like one word to describe your mood about what's going to be happening in the next 5 days in this country?
Oh, Jesus.
One word? That's all I get?
Yeah, one word.
It would be sayonara.
I'm going to say trepidation.
Trepidation is not strong enough. I don't believe. Look, you know where we stand. We've been talking about it. We were stunned at the results that took place in November. And here come the consequences, my friend.
Well, people are getting what they wanted, and we'll see where that brings us all. I hope I don't lose my health care. And speaking of my weight, okay, so the day of reckoning came. I got my blood work. The numbers weren't too bad. I mean, things were not trending positively because of the holidays. I mean, my weight's a little bit up. My cholesterol is actually doing really well. The blood sugar inched up a little bit, and given my condition of having type 2 diabetes,
you're sort of getting into the red before.
Yeah. But my doctor,
the needle is in the red. Like lower your microphone here. You're coming across, so it's distorted.
Oh, me? Okay, so
no. I mean,
what you were saying, the doctor?
No, he's saying like it's so in the red.
Oh yeah. It's well, but here's the miracle. A lot of people on the Let's Eat South Florida group say, "How do you not weigh 300 pounds?" And I guess going from
what was the number they gave?
Yeah,
you?
exactly.
Well, the numbers now.
You're not 300.
I'm at the numbers. The leading numbers begin with a 2, and depending on the day, a 3 and a 4. So it's either in the 230s, high 230s, or low 240s. This morning happened to be in the low 240s. So today was the day we had the talk. Okay.
Oh, really? The guy gave you the look, and then he actually added something verbally.
Well, guess if I say the big O, what comes to mind?
Big O, obese.
Usually sexual.
No, it's not that. It's not sexual. It's not Orlando Alzagari.
Yeah.
What is that? And I used to consider it cheating, but the drug was actually developed for.
Ozempic. You're going to be doing Ozempic?
I am. I think he has talked me into. He made the prescription. My new insurance plan covers it.
Oh wow!
So what do you think of this? The fact that I might be going on Ozempic, and I'm a little nervous.
I don't like it. I really don't like it.
Why not?
Because there are always consequences of these things that seem to arise after the fact. Look at all the people that used to go to the gym and they would be shooting stuff they thought was going to enhance their ability to work out. And I know several people that have really crumbled under the big C as a result of this. And while there may not be a direct scientific tie, we can all assume that.
Wait, you're saying people who've gone on Ozempic? Then
no, not Ozempic yet. I don't know that Ozempic has been on the market long enough for these kind of
exactly. There are
pop up. But I wouldn't want to be one of the people that found out 7 years later that did some serious damage. I'd much rather just go on a walk of life and a little diet, and you could drop to 40 pounds.
But this is what some people said about the COVID vaccine. We don't know enough about yet. We don't have the long-term studies, And I still lined up and got it because something.
But at that point, people were checking
dying.
out. I mean, people were just dying. They were in body bags an hour after.
Well, that's what the doctor said was going to happen to me if I didn't go on the Ozempic.
Oh,
it was going to be body bag time soon.
He didn't recommend any alternate methods. You just said start shooting.
Well, we've tried the alternate methods, including the metformin, which cut my appetite a little bit at one point, but then I seem to have burst through the what do you call it? Like the tolerance for it. All I know is this. I had hesitation because, like anything in life, if something seems too good to be true, it usually is. But, however, this drug was designed for people with type 2 diabetes who are also overweight. And all the earliest, and now it's been around now for like 4 or 5 years, where they have 4 or 5 years of studies. And not only has it shown that there's really no ill long-term effects, but that it also has all these other unintended but really beneficial consequences, such as for people who, not only does it cut appetite, but it also cuts your desire to drink and gamble. And
I've never heard of that at all.
Those are two negatives.
I'm talking to him. The food, what it does is it controls appetite. So I guess they could say an offshoot is just appetites of everything. I don't think that's true at all. It's appetite for food. It makes you less hungry. And now if you tie your other habits to food, because a lot of people do, they will smoke a cigarette while they're gambling or smoke a cigarette while eating, while drinking, like people do tie all their fixations.
Yeah.
But it's really just about your food intake appetite. That's Shirley's done it. I have friends that have done it. Like, it makes you less hungry.
And people do it without having diabetes, which is called an off-label use. And that I am opposed to.
They were prescribed it. She was prescribed. Like, a doctor told her she
people are just using it as a new diet pill. The Hollywood types who are not that overweight to begin with are just using it to get skinnier. That's not what it was meant to do. It's meant for people like me who are fat pigs, who can't control themselves, who are, have tried to do things the right way. And once upon a time, I could drop 20 or 30 pounds, but now that I'm edging up into my let's just say my golden years, it's not as easy. So here's what I'm gonna do, Defo. And I'm a little concerned because you know how, like, the same way that musicians and artists are concerned that sometimes when they stop doing drugs, they're gonna lose their creativity. I'm a little bit afraid that when I start doing this drug, I'm gonna lose the essence of Mike Mayo, which is big bites and eating. But your overall, you just think
I would try almost anything else. I really would.
Wow. Okay.
A little exercise wouldn't hurt. I mean, you have to keep your body moving. That's the big key. I think about you on my walk of life. I'm thinking, is Mayo eating right now, or is he out there on the beach with his daughter or his girlfriend?
I've been walking. And the walking alone is not doing enough. And then,
well, you can't overeat at that point. I mean, that's not going to help.
You got to do a little bit of both.
But look at what we do every day. And I guess the thing is
moderation, as you've often said, moderation is a big key. And, Lubie and I find that after we do a lunchbox where we're dining, like you guys are now, that there's a strong likelihood that the best play would be not to eat again. Or if you do, there's something very small.
Right.
Whereas you are going out to these spectacular dinners every night. I mean, you're at the bar at Runway 84, down in a steak and a 300-pound baked potato,
which I still haven't finished yet. By the way.
Well, that's good. As long as you're eating it.
And I,
but those are the killer moves, and especially if you're doing it late at night. So,
okay, well,
I think you could formulate some new habits. I did it myself. I dropped like 50 pounds a few years ago.
You dropped 50?
50 pounds. I was up there in the 260s. I was embarrassed.
I did not realize you were like the Hindenburg, huh?
I see pictures of myself now, and we were talking about it this morning, Lubie and I.
It's over the years.
What happens is slowly but surely you accept putting on 5 pounds, then you accept putting on 10, and the next thing you know, you're a blimp. You're morbidly obese.
No, I'm wielding my fork like a conductor with his baton, and Lubie is getting a little bit afraid here. But the things have been very strategically placed today here at Prezzo. We've got the new item, which is a beet salad, which is right in front of me. The salad is in front of me, and it's going to be my first bite and maybe my only bite. The eggplant stack, which is somewhat healthy-ish.
Yeah.
It's a little bit fried stuff, but a tomato and some arugula.
Eggplant in general isn't going to kill you, though.
Then we get to the stuff which maybe is what you're talking about, that I need the discipline to just stay away from.
Just have one.
And maybe I need medical or medicinal assistance to not even have the urge to try this delicious looking chicken parmesan.
How often do you have to juice yourself with this Ozempic? Like every day?
Once a week.
Once a week.
It's once a week. Is what
Are you good at are you big with needles? You're just going to jab yourself in the stomach? With
hate needles, but apparently this thing is so easy. It's like this little pen. You don't even see the needle. The needle is like the size of, let's say, a certain future president's
They make great improvements on
appendage.
methods of injection. Promise me this, though, and we wish you all the best with this, and I hope it works because, as I said, on my walk of life, I'm a little concerned about you. And when I think about Mike Mayo, I'm thinking, I hope he's walking right now or doing something at least once a day. Maybe it's a couple of miles. But it really hasn't kicked in. But promise us, and Lubie, I'm sure, is on board with this too. You will not appear in an Ozempic commercial and or especially be with that fat lady that's singing about Jardians in the yellow dress. Oh, my God.
I'm going to come up with a new jingle.
Jesus.
I'm going to start dancing, and I'm going to start.
You're really going to be out there going, whoa, Ozempic?
I'm going to be proclaiming the wonders of the Big O if it helps me. But
maybe you'll get an endorsement deal. That could be.
This could be something. And this is something I want to share with look. I spent so much of time. I'm passionate about food. You can tell that. And if somebody puts something delicious in front of me,
well, of course,
I was told that it's like it's an insult if you leave most of your food. I've got to get over that.
I think that's the thing is we were
full portions too. Not
to finish the plate, and that's actually not the best, especially the portions we get in America. Like, eat a little bit, and then that's why everyone makes fun of me they've been calling me to-go box for
the doctor
15 years. But it's because I don't finish my food. It's not because I want all the leftovers. You guys can have the leftovers. I grew up in a house where everyone was finishing the plates and fighting, and it just grosses me out to do that.
The doctor was lecturing me. He says, "Mike, you don't have to finish the full plate." I said, "The problem."
Does he watch the show, this guy?
He's a fan of Mayo.
He's a fan of my writing. He knows about the show.
Your writing was always excellent.
Thank you. I gave him the link today, but what I told him is, Doc, I do take 2 bites of everything. The problem is when I go to a restaurant, they bring out 20 dishes. So 2 bites of everything, 2 times 20 is 40.
I don't know about blaming the show, though. I don't think it hasn't really impacted my weight at all.
Yeah, look at me.
You think it's a crutch?
I mean, that's part of the whole process of abusing your body or whatever, or getting it to the point where it's become a problem. Is that you're always saying it was some other reason, and the real truth is, and you'll find this again, the spirituality of the walk of life is you're talking to yourself. Don't bring any stuff, no music, no nothing. Which I love music, but I go out there, no telephone. And you ask yourself, hey, so what the bleep am I doing? Am I kidding myself about this stuff?
So you'll be happy to know that I have been taking I've been carving out an hour to 90 minutes every day, getting in my 3 to 4 miles pretty much every day, except today when instead of doing my walk, I was getting read the riot act by my doctor.
That's always discouraging too when you've actually been trying.
I have to ask you and Lubie this: don't you feel somewhat complicit? Because you say, "Oh, take the big bite."
No. You started that thing. If that was all you did during the show, and it is disgusting, but I believe in the modern era of media, I believe it is the single greatest signature thing that you could possibly have on a program like this.
I feel complicit in the sense that I will never say no to their offerings of food for the table. So I'm complicit in that regard. But look, Judy, Green-Eyed Girl, hit on something, and Andy defended you, and he's right. But there's more to it where she said just don't eat. And again, doing the show without the food, I think the food is a big part of it. I think people do like looking at it, and they do like tasting. And then the short, not over exaggeration, but short analysis of how it tastes, and then discussing it, and then going into further things. But the problem is, whereas Depo and I go and do our own thing, you a lot of the time, and it's not just you and Val going out, like you'll have different events a lot of time.
It's a function of getting invited to these openings
and you going is important.
Festivals.
I love you, Judy. I do actually. I appreciate you. He has to go to these things. I'm not going to lie. It's a big part of what we do is that he goes to these things. But you can just have a bite and then conversation at these things.
And the thing is, given my druthers, and I love saying druthers, I would rather go out and just go to a poker tournament and not eat.
But the scathing indictment there was your admission the other day that you went straight to Burger King.
But then, then I get at 3 11 o'clock, and I haven't eaten anything, and then I'm hungry, and then I go to Burger King, and it's a vicious cycle. And now that I've had my 2 bites of the beet salad, Lubie, can I get one little pasta purse there? There we go.
But that would be the thing is eat
But
one.
just eat one, right?
Yield throughout the
And I'm
show
not
like you
even
did with
gonna
the chili
swipe
yesterday.
too much of the creamy, delicious sauce or the nut, or I'm just going to have one of these pair pasta purses
Yes,
at Prezzo.
which they're well
Say
known
that
for.
5 times fast, Defo.
Yeah.
Pair
Oh,
pasta
that's one of my
purses at
favorite
Prezzo.
dishes. I've
Yeah,
had another
that's my
place
wife's
that do a
favorite.
great job
That's
at Prezzo with that.
Hey, Eddie Pozzuoli, speaking of the P-Man, is going to be here momentarily. Let's take our first break. But before we do, we got a lot of love today in the Sun Sentinel. One of my former colleagues, Philip Valise, wrote up about the upcoming meatball, the rib cage battle, the night of boxing and meatballs that's going to be taking place January 29th at the Delray Beach Boxing Center. Can you join us that night, Defo? I know you were
I would love to because we have a friend, Lubie and I think he's still part of it, a boxer named Steve Jaffrod,
okay.
who was an Olympic boxer for the U.S. team going back several years and then became a pro. And he actually fought for a world heavyweight title, one of the Alphabet Soup Organization heavyweight titles. It might not have been the most significant bout, but he was thrown in there. And I believe he's a big part of that Delray Beach Boxing Club.
Yeah, so
there's some good people involved with that. And we know that Darnell, I mean, wow, what a job this guy does.
he does a great job. And some of the meatball combatants are going to be right here. Eddie Pozzuoli, Prezzo, is going to be competing along with our friend Peter Izzo from Peter's Pizzeria. And we're going to have the 380 Italian folks. We paid a visit to them a few weeks ago. And also, who am I forgetting? Sicilian Oven.
Yep.
This is a straight up meatball competition?
Yes.
Straight up meatball. And I'm one of the judges. And Philip Valise was nice enough to mention that I'm going to be one of the judges. And he also mentioned the Lunchbox, streaming show that we're involved in. So he gave a little love and publicity to us. And now we're giving a little love and publicity to Evan Darnell. Go online it's just do the...
when is that, Mike?
Wednesday, January 29th.
I'll be
Lubie's going to
gone.
be in
It's
Spain.
annoying.
But,
it's not annoying. I'm happy to go to Spain, but
we're
I
going to
really
be
wanna
doing the
be at this
night
thing.
of meatballs and boxing. And Kevin Danilo chimed in because they posted it on the group. Kevin wants to know if he can get involved as being one of the combatants in the ring. And I said only if I could be his opponent because I'll take a pummeling, for the sake of charity.
You would have to go with you would look like Joe Pesci did in Raging Bull.
Oh, yeah.
When he was working out De Niro in the gym and he had
padding
on his stomach.
But it might be a good way and maybe better than Ozempic for the diet. If my jaw gets broken and I can't chew.
Yeah, it's just liquid. Yeah, people lose a lot of
Wired
weight.
shut. Did you consider that? Did that come up?
RibCageBattle.com is the website. Eventbrite.com. You could just search when you're in Eventbrite for the Red Meat Lovers Club. Tickets remain. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll see you there. Meanwhile,
I'd rather see you throwing meatballs than punches. I really would.
Okay.
Yes, don't.
And I can't imagine. I mean, just judging by that event at the Delray Beach Tennis Center that was thrown by the Red Meat Lovers Club, they had more than just meatballs. They had a lot of different salads.
Yeah, he has other people
There'll be
coming
other
in.
But wow,
But basically 5 restaurants
it
that are
was
going to be the meatball competition, and I'm one of the judges along with Evan, I believe his mom. And that's
what do you look for in a meatball, Mike Mayo?
I look for heft. The sauce is a big factor.
Size? How much of a factor is size?
The meat blend, the texture, the flavor, all these things come into play. And it's going to be great because Peter's, Prezzo, 380 Italian, Sicilian Oven, and I forget the fourth one right now, but it's also a goodie. So, our friends over at Windy City Pizza, where
Windy
we
City
have,
Pizza, I was going to say.
they
Nice.
have a good meatball because we had that at the tennis
Oh,
event.
and they could have won. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't remember if they did or
So,
they didn't, but it was
These
right.
are 5 heavyweight meatballs that are going to be duking it out. And again, go online, ribcagebattle.com. Get your tickets today. All right, let's take our first break, and we'll be back with Eddie Pozzuoli and more from Prezzo after these words.
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox at Prezzo, Boca Raton, right here on Military Trail. And look who's here. Eddie Pozzuoli, the man of the moment. And we've put Defo into a corner. And
you know what? Eddie makes a much more appealing presence on the show tonight.
And look at the lighting, Eddie. Look at the.
No, you guys look good. Wow.
Makes my hair look good.
Yeah, you look great.
That's the best head of hair we've had on the show. Now, Mayo has a good head of hair. He hasn't lost a single hair.
Haircut yesterday. We all had yesterday was haircut day, and but meanwhile, Eddie, it's been a couple of months. The holiday season was hectic and crazy. You've got a lot going on in your world. And, you know, I think Einstein was wrong because he said the definition of insanity is those who keep repeating the same things and expect a different result. But I say the definition of insanity is a restaurateur who already has 3 restaurants up and running in the middle of the season and is then
adding 2,
opening up 2 more. What is going on with you?
It's when's the last time we talked? It's probably been 2
It's
months.
been like November.
Busy,
we
yeah.
were at
Okay.
Eddie and Vinny's in Coral Springs, and we'll
Gotta
ask about all
look.
the progress reports.
Look.
But yeah, but meanwhile, since then,
Yeah,
more has happened, right?
we had an opportunity, I guess is the best way to state what happened. Is an opportunity presented itself,
yeah.
and I've always come from the school of when the opportunity presents itself, you figure it
finally
out.
meeting your dad, I can see what your dad. It seems like he's very on it, very aggressive, and very like active. He doesn't wait for things.
No, if you wait for things, you know that life passes you by.
Yeah.
See, you and me are complete opposites because when opportunity knocks, I usually have already passed out for my afternoon nap and I miss it. But you guys, all right, so this was a place up in Parkland, right? Formerly known as Deja Blue.
Deja Blue, yep.
Okay, and so they went out, and now what's going to be happening there?
So Paul's not here, but to
Yeah, we
you know,
talked a
explain
lot
it.
about
Paul
him. We're
Greenberg,
big fans of
former
Paul.
founding partner of American Social,
Yeah.
right?
So yeah, we're going to be creating a new concept. It's actually carrying on the naming restaurants after your children fad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's going to be called Dear Olivia.
Oh, so
Bar and
his turn.
Kitchen. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So Olivia is Paul's daughter,
Nice.
I
and
love that.
we are going to be opening up an elevated American cuisine bar grill, kind of a place that you can go 7 days a week.
Nice.
Bring your kids after soccer practice. Go there for a date night. Stop there for a nightcap on your way home.
Now it's on State Road 7441?
No,
or
it's
where is
on
it?
University Drive.
Oh, University.
Yeah,
up in-
north of Holmberg, kind of
Okay,
way
so
up in
north
So like
Parkland,
Parkland,
of
like
the
straight-
Sawgrass.
Yeah.
Prime Parkland. Okay.
Okay.
It's
and
like right next to Parkland Golf and Country Club.
Okay.
Nice. And another stop that Lubie can
That's
get
right.
to
That's like
easily.
5 to minutes from my
It's
house.
his hood.
Yeah.
And
Love it.
so the aim is to get that open by the summer, or
I would say end of April is,
Oh, wow.
is the idea. Fortunately, the restaurant's in great shape,
Nice.
so it's not like we're having to, with Eddie and Vinny's,
you had to do a
You
gut
did an
job.
overhaul. Yeah, you did an overhaul.
it was a pretty big job. With this, restaurant was operating up until a couple weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Kitchen's in great shape. It's a new kitchen.
Nice. Oh,
And
nice.
so the idea is we're going to get in there. Our designer who did Eddie and Vinny's, she's working on some reconfigurations of the floor plan a little bit, change the colors, change the furniture, change the light fixtures, and then get open.
All right. So, dear Olivia, coming to you sometime spring 2025, hopefully by the end of April. What's the latest on Eddie and Vinny's in Coral Springs, formerly known as Tavolino de la Notte?
We are looking great, actually. Finishing work is well underway.
Nice.
Tile's just about done.
Okay.
So, it's not just concrete floors anymore. So
Right.
it looks, it's starting to look beautiful.
There's a little bare bones in there,
No,
but the
but
skeleton,
you can
you
feel it,
need
though,
to, it's going to be wonderful.
So it's there. It's like I said, the tile's done, paint on the ceiling and the top parts of the walls is complete.
Have you hired staff or training? Or
We
where are
have
at
our
on that?
entire management team
Oh, nice.
already on board with us. So, they're well underway and planning, training, and all that kind of stuff. So putting together documentation for all of our new hires. We
Better get that done before Monday.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
never
shut
mind.
up.
I'm not going to go into politics.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's burgeoning as a
I know.
businessman. He's not making any enemies.
We don't do politics.
Fans of all of it. But yeah, so that's okay. So your staffing
So
is
yeah,
underway.
we did put ads out. First night after 13 hours of having ads out, 286
Oh, Jesus.
applications.
That's great. Now the key is having them show up because I've heard
Yeah,
horror
yeah,
stories
yeah,
about
yeah.
when you put things out online and
It
then
doesn't
the
mean they
time
actually
comes
cash
to
in on
actually
it.
interview them.
So these companies now, like the Indeeds of the world,
Yeah.
or whatnot,
LinkedIn,
they allow
yeah.
you to like blanket apply for jobs. So you can be a working in some completely different industry,
Right.
and if you say you want to apply for a restaurant job, it's going to put your resume into
Everybody. Yeah.
our place and all this. I'm looking at a resume and I'm like, okay, this person's a dolphin trainer. What are they doing? What are they doing?
Well, they
You
do
know,
eat the dolphin fish, so
The Dolphins need some training, but that's the football team. But no, all right. Well, so you got a little bit ways to go, but you're anticipating when? Maybe February?
It'll be late February. So
Okay.
we're anticipating a friends and family opening. So like a trial time of February 24th is the plan,
Excellent.
and
Okay.
with an opening to the public, like a soft opening
March.
to the public first week of March.
Nice.
Okay.
Also, we'll still be
Yeah,
in season.
so you got them stacked up like airplanes at O'Hare Airport. First
Let's
Eddie
just
and
hope there's no
Vinny's,
snowstorms.
then Dear
Yeah.
Olivia's. But meanwhile,
Oh,
the
that's good.
existing things, well, before we get into how the season's going, I think, Defo, did you have a musical question for Eddie?
I did. It's been a burning question for me, and every time I think of Eddie, I was fascinated by the fact that he was involved in this charity event where everybody took up an instrument that they never played before, and of course, Eddie went Ginger Baker. He got the double bass drum and a brand new set, and he was going to be a drummer. And I thought, wow, it's not easy. I mean, it's probably one of the easier instruments to pick up, or at least be able to do something functional with, because you don't necessarily have to read music or any of these other things, although it helps. But how did it go when you actually got up on the
Yeah, we
stage?
never talked to you about
This
the
big
event.
build-up about it,
Oh,
and
it
then
was
we
awesome.
never heard anything.
We
I
had
mean, did it go well? Did
yeah, it
you
was-
end up
when was that? Back in
with a
November,
music
early
concert?
it was
November or,
October.
October. Wow,
Yeah,
it's been a while since.
He's just been busy, so we moved on
yeah.
to other things.
Yeah, we had a great time. Raised a ton of money. You know, it was a great event. There was 600 people there.
Oh, wow.
So you
So
know,
you played in front of 600 people. Oh,
Did you
geez.
nail it? Did you,
Yeah.
like, you,
of course.
Really?
Did you win? Was
What,
it?
what song did you do, or did you
If
do
I
more than one?
so
Oh,
we
what
did
song? Yeah, what song?
Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's
gee.
modern.
All right.
So we didn't win. However, I'm going to proclaim us as the second place winners.
Okay.
Okay.
there are no losers in a charity.
No,
it's a charity,
musical
and they're
competition.
amateurs.
but
You just
we-
learned. You started right. You had just
Yeah.
started learning for this, right?
Yeah,
Now,
June.
did you stick with it?
No,
I think it's in
I'm not adding that to the list. As much as I enjoyed it, I really did. But
Yeah.
to add that to the list of things I need to do for an hour a week,
Yeah.
it's not at the top of the list. That's
All right.
it's
That's all good. Hey, speaking of competitions, there we were talking a little bit before you
Oh,
got
yeah.
here about a meatball competition that's
you don't
coming
even,
up.
you didn't even get a meatball today.
Oh yeah, you know what? We'll
can.
bring it out for the last segment.
Yeah, we'll talk to him again.
But Evan Darnell, a friend from Red Meat Lovers Club, and he had this idea. Well, they've been doing this boxing event where they mixing boxing with
Different
food
food items.
for the last, I believe it's 5-6 years.
Yeah, we've participated. I think the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. So you're putting your balls on the line in terms of
in multiple ways.
multiple ways.
Yeah.
You're not fighting, are you?
That's probably the least risky. That's the least risky one out of them all.
You're not throwing any into the ring, are you, Mayo? I mean,
No. Only Kevin Danilo from Batch wants to go in the
Oh,
ring
he
'cause
does?
He's
Oh,
training.
he's doing
really-
MMA. Yeah,
he
he's
does
doing
MMA.
oh, he's
so
ready to go.
He's
I
ready
wouldn't
to go.
I would not fight him.
We'll find competition for him, but they don't do meatballs at Batch, but they do meatballs here at Prezzo. And it's great because we got so many friends of the show. I mean, Peter Izzo from Peter's Pizzeria is going to be involved. The 388 Italian people, the Sicilian Oven people, and I think the fifth one, Windy City.
Windy
yeah.
City.
So 5 competitors, and again, I love all kinds of meatballs, and I've had the ones here, and
They do a
it's
great
gonna be a
job.
fun night for charity, and I guess looking forward to that. Or
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We have a good time every time we go, and it's it's a great event. Evan brings a great crowd to all these things, and watching the guys fight. It's when you're actually at these things watching people
Oh, it's fun.
fight,
No, a live fight is fun.
and it's just you actually see how tiring it really is. I think a lot of times when you watch it on TV, you don't realize like how gassed you get with fights,
Yes.
but like
No,
you
no,
watch
I-
these guys for like short rounds, and I'm like,
No, it's the most. Look,
Yeah.
we were talking. Our friend Andy was talking about it, and he's been an athlete his whole life. He said it's the toughest thing he's done. I've worked out for like 25 years. Okay, I've done all different things with my wife. Now I've tried Pilates. I've tried I've tried all the things that are psychotic. We did. We had a boxing gym that was a sponsor for like a couple months, and the guy had me come out and just do a round against an amateur, but she had been training for 6 months. I was about to pass out after a minute. I've never done a workout like that.
no,
There's
you
nothing
like
boxing.
start gasping for air, and it's no joke.
Yeah, it's. I'll stick to judging the meatballs that night. Thank you very much. And we are going to replay this show the day before the meatball event on January 28th. So go online and see if there's still tickets available. Again, it's ribcagebattle.com, or go on to Eventbrite and just do a search for Red Meat Lovers Club Meatball Boxing Night, and you'll find it. But by the 28th, it might be a sellout. You never know. All right, let's take our second break, and then we'll come back with Eddie, and we'll kind of catch up on where things stand at Corvina Seafood Grill and here at Prezzo and the Palm Beach Gardens one, how the season is going after these words. Fresh local fish, a sophisticated setting, I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hours 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and for the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining, and they are now featuring a monthly lamb roast brunch on the first Sunday of every month. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservation.
Muted. There you go.
Prezzo Italian restaurant right here in Boca Raton. I don't even know if this shopping complex has a name. It's just
Park Place.
Park Place. It's like the 5500, 5600 block of North Military Trail, just north of Yamato. Very easy to find. And you guys are open 7 days here, right? And
Lunch and dinner.
How has the season been going here and at Prezzo Palm Beach Gardens and then finally Corvina?
So season actually is off to a stronger start than it was last year, which is a great sign.
Very welcome news.
Yes, absolutely. You know, the first couple weeks of January for all the restaurants last year were like very light. So it was a mild
there was
winter,
a post,
if you recall.
holiday, a
big
little dip.
lull.
Yeah.
So this past couple weeks, seeing how the January has been versus last year is definitely encouraging news at all the restaurants. And even friends of mine, same kind of situation. So we're seeing it across the board, which is great.
And that begs the question, Corvina, again, because you're crazy Eddie, not only insane
what's going on
opening
with the deals?
restaurants, but the 50% off social hour. You're still doing that, right?
We're doing it from 4 to 5.
Okay.
So the restaurant, I didn't think we would have a line out the door at 4 o'clock.
It's still happening. It's still happening.
You know why? There's retirees, and now like the early dinner, the supper or the dinner,
it's popular.
It's popular, especially when you get a deal like that.
So it's a double-edged sword because you're staffing the team because it gets busy early.
Yeah.
And then you have a lull. The 5:30 to maybe 6:30.
Oh, there's a meatball.
Oh, hey, there's a meatball.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
It's like a lull, and then 7 o'clock comes and you get a hit again. So it's the staff kind of they get busy, and then all of a sudden it's like they get into the
so they have to wake up again.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been interesting kind of watching it all, but we're really
I call
happy.
that the refractory period where you kind of recover after that early burst.
Yep.
And sorry,
Jesus,
why do I go there?
So
You're in the mood today.
We're really happy with the way it's kind of all turned out, and
the food is great. People are
The food's
discovering it, right? Are
fantastic.
you finding that there have been first timers who are now repeat.
Yeah, we're getting
customers?
a lot of repeat, but what I appreciate almost the most is the people that had come previously that not necessarily didn't like it, but like didn't have a reason to want to come back.
Right.
Will have came back, have
Oh,
tried
nice.
something, and now like it.
Are fans.
So maybe maybe the first time they were there, they had something that was good, but it wasn't, didn't jump out at them or
Yeah.
something, and they appreciate what we've kind of added to the place and in terms of the ambiance and the vibe and the service, and obviously now the discount's great, but it's brought those people back to give us that second and third chance.
Nice. Well, that
So
was
now the goal was to just get the repetitive business throughout the summer.
Yep.
And Palm Beach Gardens, Prezzo also hopping up there.
It's Gardens
growth.
is great.
Yeah.
Gardens is doing great.
It's interesting, because our friend with Batch says the same thing. So it's like booming. I forget about Palm Beach.
North
but,
County is, it's like
growing.
It feels like it's so far away,
yeah,
but it's 30 miles. And,
it's not far
it's
from
just,
Boca, especially. Yeah,
It's just it's always been like that common misconception. The Jupiter Gardens, all that stuff is so far away.
Yep.
But they've got their own great food scene. It's obviously a great mall, and there's a lot of great people living up there, and it's just becoming so popular, and a lot of new homes being built out west. So whether it's like Westgate or Loxahatchee or Avenir, these huge communities that are being built that are very family focused. So
Nice.
young families moving up there, the schools are great, and it's a little bit more affordable than here.
Right.
yeah.
Like
Well,
this much,
that's the thing.
but
And the more things that get built, the more mouths to feed. I
Yeah,
mean, they
exactly.
still have not found a way, Defo, to, create food virtually or feed people virtually.
it's one thing I don't think we'll
That's
ever
coming
lose.
soon.
And speaking of growth, we were just talking off air about, the near Dear Olivia, that whole Parkland corridor is also
it's growing
booming.
a lot.
It's
growing a lot.
crazy. It's up here.
And it's all good. And meanwhile, I wish we could bottle the scene here and open it up back in August because, have a full house inside with that big group. You have a full patio. It's got to be gratifying to know that you guys are, doing everything right. And the food
We like to
is-
think so. Sometimes I second guess in the summer months. I'm like, what's going on? And then, then all of a sudden it comes back.
But the seasonality is the way it used to
Just
be.
what
And
it
I
is,
know
yeah.
we had the time where everybody was here during COVID and everybody was kind of coming around. But it's back to the way it used to
Yeah.
be. And I guess
The problem is there's, it's back to the way it used to be, but now you have 10%, 15% more restaurants because
Oh yeah, everyone
so many people thought
inundated us. Yeah,
that they were going to be able to add
Yeah.
their spin on things.
and the staffing and all that. It's a real challenge.
Mhm.
But you've got it, seem to have it figured out, especially the food part of the equation. Defo, I'm very sad that you can't be here because that eggplant stack is excellent. I had 2 bites
One
of
of
it.
my favorites.
Two.
I noticed. You probably would be inclined to shine that on, but I see how. It's funny to watch the show from a different perspective here.
Yes.
And actually be looking at the screen and seeing you guys, and you can see the salivation live or formulating as Mayo stares at that meatball lady.
Can you see the restraint?
You're kind of ahead of him there in the
Yeah.
shot, but wow,
There's a
your
lot of
eyeballs are bulging looking at that.
Well, because I've been nipping at this salad, and it's a new menu item. The beet salad is terrific, both golden and I guess the red
beets.
purple beets. Delicious. But man does not live by beets alone. And I'm like, I had one of the pear purses.
How about some meats?
I've been staying away from the chicken parm. I had
taste the
2 bites
meatball.
of
Doesn't
the
you have to eat the
eggplant.
whole meatball?
All right, so I'm going to give people a preview of like when I am enlisted as a judge at a certain event, whether it's the Red Meat Lovers Club meatball, the boxing competition event, or going to be doing a lot of
Friday night.
judging this week with the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. We've got barbecue event on Friday night, the grand tasting. Barbecue is going to be easy. There's only 15 competitors. Meatball is like a piece of cake.
Oh,
Only
you're
5
judging grand
competitors.
tasting too?
Grand tasting,
Oh, that's gotta be a
73
lot.
different
That's
restaurants
got to be a
lined
lot.
up.
And people bring their
And
A
there's a
game.
judges award and a people's choice award. So I've got to like somehow, I don't think this is on my doctor's
It's impossible
regimen.
to try 73 entries, Michael.
No, you can't.
Even
You haven't
with,
met
like,
me, my
So
friend.
you
Chinese
will eat a
portion.
little bit of every place?
Yeah, but I'm
Oh,
going to tell
Jesus.
people this is, and Defo has seen this before, where I just take one bite
You
and
weren't
kind of
bad at that.
scrutinize it.
Yeah.
And the way I do it first is just have, without any of the ricotta or anything like that, just kind of have the plain meatball. Notice the furrowed brow, processing, the taste buds. It's a delicious, and I call it like a very soft meatball, but it also envelops you soft like a pillow or a warm hug.
I know we've talked about in the past. What is it?
So
wait.
So we've
Oh,
changed.
you want to?
Oh, you've changed it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I know
okay.
in
Oh,
Boca you're not going to use pork.
So correct.
Right.
So we did.
Oh, you used to.
We used to.
And people
So
were
Right.
bitching.
it's not
Well,
that people
no, you
bitch.
gotta be
Oh, you just
sensitive.
want to make sure you can include more people.
Yeah,
exactly.
culturally sensitive. I mean, a lot of Jewish people up here, and they don't eat pork. So you make it a beef and veal? Or just
So
beef?
it's just Wagyu beef.
Just
so we
Wagyu
changed
beef.
it to a Wagyu.
Interesting.
We changed
Okay.
it to a Wagyu meatball.
I detect some cheese and breadcrumbs.
Yeah, of course. We soak the breadcrumbs in milk, cheese, herbs, spices, all that kind of stuff.
I call this a melt in your mouth meatball because it's soft
Some are more chewy.
and warm. And sometimes you get the firmer ones depending on what fillers you use. This is a very good meatball, Eddie.
So we wanted to do something special because, when I go out to eat, that's at Italian restaurants. That's kind of the thing I've been seeing is Wagyu meatball. Or we at Miami.
See, this
of
is the
course,
thing. Not to interrupt you. This is where you're mayoing, and you should not be mayoing. The first two bites were what you should have done. And I'm not even. I want to hear the rest of what you're
But
saying.
it's keto friendly.
But as a guy who I know keeps in shape, if you
I
watch
went
Eddie
to the
when he
doctor
joins
today
us,
and I got read the riot act.
Eddie
and I had
just
to
takes a
limit-
bite and nothing else, and he will just had a salad. Eddie's been eating very healthy whenever we've done shows. Mayo, who's trying to control himself, always takes the third and the fourth bite, and that's what I'm trying to condition out.
Right.
Sorry,
Stop.
sorry for
I could
interrupting.
have stopped after 2, and it is not an official judging yet, but I am just kind of programming my palate because I will recognize that meatball that night, and I basically have eaten all the meatballs. I'll know who's who. I don't know how you can separate them. That's the challenge for me. But
Well, maybe I'll serve mine on my naked body or something like that.
only if you're covered in sauce.
There you go.
Oh, jeez.
All right,
I'll
on
smother
that.
it in ricotta cheese.
Oh God!
I'm a big fan of the mix of pork and a meatball.
It's the traditional type
it
of
makes-
meatball. That's
yeah.
people love it. I actually had somebody complain to me in Palm Beach
Oh, they could tell.
last week that this is not like my grandmother used to cook. Like those people that are diehards. I'm
The
like, listen,
nostalgia kills. As
You're
a
trying
judge,
to-
I always put aside what I liked from the past, what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
my bubble used to make. I just say, what is in my mouth right now? Does it make sense? Does it taste good? How's the texture? How's the flavor? How's the quality? And then I come up with a kind of like a score in my head.
Yeah, he was like, it's not that it's bad. He's like, it's just not, it's not a traditional meatball. And I'm like,
That's okay.
it is what it is.
Traditional things are fine.
I'm
And-
sorry, but this is what I feel was best for
The
the
business,
company.
yeah.
And everybody has their own nona and the
Of
family
course.
traditions.
And they all do it different too. Like not
I mean,
everyone uses all
the
three meats.
traditional blend that I grew
Veal,
up with
beef.
in Brooklyn was, it was beef, veal, and pork.
But not
And-
everyone does that. Like,
No.
even in Italy,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's what
food
you
is
can get
subjective.
to.
That's the beauty of it. Hey, let's take our
Yeah,
final
let's do
break and we'll come back. We'll wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox with Eddie Pozzuoli at Prezzo in Boca Raton. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner, reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, It's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and looking for great seafood that's a little further inland? Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C. 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. It's serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and okay, we're back at Prezzo, and we got one more order of business for the agenda today. Defo, thank you for hanging in. How much was the bill at the vet yesterday? Real quick.
Oh, man, highway robbery. And this is a place I had a lot of respect for.
All right, well,
it was the way they put it. If this happened in a restaurant, Let's Eat South Florida, the site would crash.
Oh,
Because I got my two dogs there.
Yeah.
And so they recommended that they do a blood work test run. And so the doctor, the veterinarian, who we've had dealt with before, always very favorable, says it's going to be $416 for both.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, but
It's only
$416 for both.
Was there a credit card surcharge or a service fee included?
No, but it turned out that what she meant to say was it's going to be $416 for each.
Oh,
So as the dogs are in the car, and I'm actually on the air with our good friend the Greek doing a radio show, my wife comes out, ashen white, and says it was $1,000 for
well,
this.
you better go right to the slots or pick a winner, and the dogs will get to see another.
But
Okay.
it's horrifying in some ways. Lubie has pet insurance, but
It does nothing.
they know you're going to pay whatever it is.
Yes.
I mean,
right.
so that
Real quick,
turned
I
into a-
wanted to give away another pair of tickets to Paul Mercurio. Is a good Italian boy, comedian, late show with Colbert writer. He's coming to the Broward Center Friday night. Lubie and Defo will be there.
Yes.
And if you want to win a pair of tickets right now, we're going to have a trivia question. Be the first to email the answer to MikeMayoEats@gmail.com. MikeMayoEats@gmail.com right now. The question, Eddie Pozzuoli, involves Prezzo.
Uh-oh.
And the question is, who was the first chef that Burt Rappaport hired for the original Prezzos, who came from Italy via New York City, who has now become a well-known restaurateur in South Florida. Hint, he's also a sponsor of the Lunchbox, and his initials
That narrows it down quite a
Yeah,
bit.
that narrows it down. I'm not even going to give the initials.
This isn't some guy
I'm not giving the initials.
Don't give the initials.
I'm not giving the initials. He's a friend of the show. He's a class act. He has a great restaurant empire. Again, the first to email the answer to MikeMayoEats@gmail.com gets to go to the Paul Mercuro show Friday night at the Broward Center. Eddie, you've got to be places. You've got things to do, places
I'm
to
out.
be. I appreciate your time.
Thank you guys.
Hopefully,
Appreciate
we'll
you.
see you again somewhere next month, very soon.
Yes.
And
Hopefully at the opening.
come to Prezzo, Boca Raton, Palm Beach Gardens, and Corvina. And pretty soon, Eddie and Vinny's in Coral Springs and Dear Olivia in Parkland. All right, that's it for today. Enjoy every beet salad and enjoy every sandwich.